Okay, good morning and happy Saturday, everybody who's joining for practice. My name is Brenton, and today we're going to do a practice called Snakey Spine. So we're going to be moving our spine in all directions. Sometimes that work will be more focused on stability, so getting strong and controlled in our positions. Sometimes it'll be more focused on mobility, having controlled range of motion. So we'll kind of explore the whole gamut. This is coming off of last week's class, which we called neutral pelvis. So a lot of what we practiced last week will transfer forward this week because of course our spine interacts with our pelvis at the sacrum. So a stable pelvis, a deliberately placed pelvis is always a good place to start when we're talking about snaky spines. So I'm going to go ahead, get the timer on the clock. Let's go ahead and get started as usual on our backs. So you just take your time to come on down here and right away just move in any way that feels good to you. If you just woke up like I did, this is some of the first body movement of the day. And during this time, we want to see, can I set my attention into my experience as it's happening right now, out of my thinking a little bit? And can I also start to get a sense of regularity in my breathing? So breathing easy and evenly in and out through the nose. Okay, let's go ahead and start moving and warming up our glutes. So if you step your feet anywhere that's comfortable here, we'll start lifting and lowering the hips up and down from bridge pose. Now here we really want to get a sense of the glutes, which are big, powerful hip muscles. And we'll see that when we want our spine to be free and snaky, we need our hip muscles to be really strong and active for us. And so here we're trying to get a sense that that's our glutes. And I also want to get a sense that I'm moving my spine as kind of a whole unit up. So I'm not feeling a lot of variation in my low back. It's not sort of like rocking and rolling around as I go up and down. And that's asking my legs and my butt to do work in more specific ways. So holding ourselves up here, we want to get a sense that the low back feels very spacious, very secure here. So we need to position our pelvis in such a way where that's happening. Then feel a sense that my rib cage is drawing down. So in this is sort of like a back bendy position. We'll feel this. But in this positioning, the whole front of the body really wants to draw into the pose. Maintaining all of that, let's stretch our arms up to the sky, collarbones nice and broad. We can start squeezing in at the wrists and flicking open. While at the same time, trying to keep the work alive in the glutes. We can also just flex and extend through the hands, through the wrists. And as we feel ready, let's go ahead and take the arms down first. So now we can pay attention to a nice snaky spine. Snake the spine down from the top, so where your back ribs are, your low ribs, the vertebra right underneath the ribs, down to a little bit lower, down to the pelvis and the tailbone. And now let's see, can we reverse that and roll up from the tailbone and let each vertebra roll back up into the pose. So it's just a low bridge pose. Let's keep working like that. So down from the middle, down, and really try to go vertebra by vertebra. Rolling off from the tailbone, the pelvis, the low back. So part of what our work will also be today is, let's keep doing this maybe 2 or 3 more times, is getting the brain to start mapping the spine segmentally. where it's isolating different sections of the spine and it's learning to control movement in those areas. And this will make the brain feel just more safe and stable throughout the spine. So really, every time you repeat this, trying to move just one vertebra at a time, seeing if you can get, it's like you're writing a book about your spine for your brain. Your brain's putting it all into a map. Once you come down out of that last one, wow, can you feel how strong your legs have to be for that? We can go ahead and take our legs up, our knees up over our hips a little bit. We can shift around. This is always an option too. I'm actually gonna put a block back here, but you can always keep your feet on the ground. So whatever works for you. From here, interlock the hands behind the head, elbows in, lifting up off the shoulder blades. Okay, so first things first here, get the head soft into the hands. Try to get regular in your breathing, even though you're contracting your abdomen. And super relaxed through the neck. So it's the sheet of muscle on the front of the body lifting you up off the shoulder blades, soft neck, soft face, soft jaw. And as you feel ready, release and relax. Let's go ahead, come up off the shoulder blades again. Getting ourselves all sorted out. And as we feel ready from here, keeping the lower body nice and still, we'll start to twist from the upper body a little bit to the left, to the right. Just go like kind of micro movements here and really feel the head relax into the hands. So you're not generating this movement from your shoulders are following. You're generating it from your ribs. Really important to get those side waist muscles on. As we feel ready, release and relax. So think about this as our time to get the brain to activate and turn on and map the whole sheeting on the front of the body. So we want to get into all those nooks and crannies. Let's go ahead and come up off the shoulder blades again. Okay, so we just find ourselves nice and easy. We're okay with intense sensation, that's all cool. And we can just kind of rock and roll a little bit just with the chest. I can really feel how my neck wants to grab. So we just see what we can do to get the work happening in the torso, the side waist. As we feel ready, release and relax. Woo. Okay, we have one more set. This time, I'll just leave us to our own devices, so you can do any ab work that feels good for you this morning. I'm gonna keep with that twisting. Let's say we're about halfway there with this round, so keep moving. And as we feel ready, release and relax. Alrighty, taking all of that, let's go ahead, come all the way up to our hands and our knees, tabletop position. So this is kind of your time to reorient yourself, regulate your breathing, your face kind of nice and soft. Okay, and let's see if this is also your time to check out like how do my wrists feel, because if you need different options, you can always come up to your fists or down to your forearms. So finding a place where we can be here and just kind of leaning left to right over the arms. As you do this, try to weight evenly through your fingers, and then try to land at the center here so you can feel both of your arms down into the floor, up into the armpit, into the outer shoulder, and you can feel shoulder blades on the back. Now just moving the spine here through some cat and cow while deliberately trying to hold your arms nice and still. So you'd be surprised, like even in this cat and cow, which I think most of us see as pretty accessible movement, a lot of times we kind of move in other places and not in the target area. So if this feels different for you, because you're holding your arms still and you're saying, hey arms, please don't move right now, I want my back to move, then it's just another example of like, wow, some of this stuff we just assume like, oh, I'm getting everything I can already get out of this, but I could maybe get more. Coming down through tabletop position here, let's see if we can understand what a neutral spine here means. And your neutral spine is like a sine wave, and that's so that it has nice shock absorption. So I just see like my shoulder blades set the height of table, so I lift the ribs up into the shoulder blades. Want to get a sense for my nice neutral low back that's in like a baby back bend shape, but this whole front body is still lifting up to support that. My neck is also part of this. So I just kind of see here, is my spine as lifted, as supported as it could be, then tucking the toes under without changing the pelvis. We practiced that last week. Seeing not changing the spine, lifting the knees off the ground. So this is spinal stability, up and down, knees up and down. Next time, knees up, tipping up and back, downward facing dog, our first one there. So you can be kind of liberal here, maybe walking out through the feet a little bit. As we feel ready, let's go ahead, push off our hands one at a time to walk all the way back to the feet there at the back of the mat. Nice bend into the knees, relax through the head. Maybe you even like to interlock the hands back there. Just kind of feel your spine like a waterfall. So bending the knees as much as you need to get like nice belly and thigh contact, and then really feeling the whole back side of the body round. Feeling, of course, that there's not too much strain, too much anything in one area. As you feel ready, pressing down through the feet, slow motion, rolling ourselves all the way up. Finding here, backing the pelvis up over the heels, getting the pelvis nice and upright. Same with the ribs, back them up over the pelvis. Same with the head, back it up over the ribs. And from here, let's move through the shoulders. So again, inviting a little spinal stability in here while we get the shoulders to move on their own. So if we free the shoulders, we'll free the spine as well. As we feel ready from here, hands to the pelvis, bending into the knees without tipping the pelvis forward at all. So can you get a sense that your spine is nice and lifted? It's in neutral, let's call it, your neutral sine graph up here. We want to keep all of that as we move at the hips any amount and start hinging the position forward. So way easier said than done. You can go ahead and come back upright here. And we'll just kind of keep moving through whatever range of motion you can access. So I would say do less, more honestly, trying to maintain your nice curvature of your spine, because this is getting your hips the same freedom that we just gave your shoulders, right? We want the hips to be strong and able to create and generate distinct positions. And this is a distinct hip flexed position. As you feel ready, coming down to your hip hinging position here, seeing can I take the arms in front of me but have them still feel plugged in. Still feeling a sense of like, this is table in my abdomen, so I'm nice and lifted up here, glutes nice and strong and turned on. As we feel ready, coming all the way down and forward, walking ourselves all the way back to downward facing dog. This downward facing dog, let's go ahead and shift the position forward towards our plank, top of a push-up, where here we're just trying to regulate the breathing and be soft in our face. Now your shoulder blades set the height of the pose, so lift your ribs up to meet the shoulder blades. gets a nice distance between your feet and hands so that you can get your pelvis in line. As we feel ready, tip up and back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, push off the index knuckle of the hand while still widening through your shoulder blades and collarbones. Keep that sense as you push off your hands one at a time to walk all the way back to the feet. Go ahead and from here, bend your knees nice and deeply. Curl from the tailbone down and slow motion roll the front body in to roll up. As you feel ready from here, bring and reach the arms way up overhead. As you feel ready, arms down. One more time, we'll bring the arms up. As we feel ready, hinge from the hips, right? You take the spine in its neutral shape all the way down. Then we walk ourselves, this time all the way forward to plank. Finding ourselves in that high plank. So your next part of your spine here, right? So this is one of those spinal stability poses. It's like, could I access my neutral four curves? Now it's like, can I do that with my knees down? So knees are down, but you still get that sense of everything lifting. It's just that your arms and chest are stronger and they're winning to bend and take you down to the floor. Once we get down to the floor from here, you just go ahead, release, relax, anything that feels good to you down here, maybe even a little roll of the pelvis. Now in these belly positions, we really want to ensure that our low back has a lot of freedom and space here. So we're going to need to activate our glutes to get the tailbone to go down to the heels and pull our frontal hip bones more into our body. They're going to want to push down to the floor. Can you feel how they want to do that? Now from here, sliding the hands back underneath the elbows, give a few shoulder rolls. See if you can set the shoulders open with the neck soft and relaxed and with the low back feeling nice and spacious. So we want to get a sense, frontal hip bones drawing in, but also front ribs drawing into the body as well. So be honest there, get your front ribs to go into your body. And then see from here, without taxing the neck, could I lift my hands off the ground? Some shoulder extension here. Could I even straighten my arms behind me? Doing that a couple of times. As we feel ready from here, taking the hands down, nice and wide. I want to see, can I get stable, strong through my spine? Keep this shape as I press up to the knees. And then back to downward facing. Downward facing dog, pushing off the hands one at a time to walk all the way back to the feet. Nice bend through the knees so that the belly touches the thighs, rooting down. We can slow motion roll our way all the way up. Inhale, we can reach wide and high through the arms. And then we can come back down over the legs. Walking ourselves all the way back forward to plank, top of a push-up here. Here we go. Finding ourselves nice and lifted, option knees down. And then your arms, your chest is winning, but you're trying to keep the spine in its natural four curves, resisting the movement down to the floor. Once we come all the way down there, if you have the ability to take the arms forward, let's do that. Legs back, we can lift the left leg and the right arm and down. Right leg, left arm down. Just going back and forth. Now this is also a spinal stability pose. We want to move the legs and arms without moving our spine. So we want to get the low back in a nice supported position, then use the muscles on our glutes to really support the pelvis as the legs lift. The arms are going to want to do the same thing for the ribs. So I need to move more from the arms and the armpit and less from the rib cage doing weird things. As we feel ready, let's go ahead, slide the hands on back underneath the shoulders. Feel the natural four curves of the spine, press up to the knees. Pull the hips back with the low back still nice and long. Taking the elbows down to the floor, you decide if the hands are wide or together. Tuck the toes, lift off the knees. So root and push down through the forearms. This is to give our brain some time to really get that shoulder area on for us. This neck is nice and soft. Then to really get the back line open, you can have your feet wide if you like. Really bend your knees and try to bring your thighs and your belly to touch. Really relax through the head so you're getting yourself nice and rounded here. This is getting nice open line through the back fascia. And feel even as you're creating the shape, like everything on the front of the body is still curling in towards the back. It's not sort of pushing away from the spine. As we feel ready, lowering the knees. Coming all the way back up to the hands. Seeing how the shoulders feel now. Let's go ahead. Slow motion, walk the feet forward. You can also hop if that feels better as well. So we'll meet up at the top, standing forward bend. Practice today, let's bend the knees, slow motion, roll the spine all the way up. Reach the arms wide and high to the sky. Taking the hands down. One more time. Arms wide and high. Could I keep my natural four curves of my spine as I tip forward? At some point we lose it, right? So you just go with it. From here, bending into the knees, staying evenly set through the spine. As I lift my left foot, step the left foot back, knee down. You can even do top of foot down if you want. Come on up to half kneeling lunge. So first get a sense that you're right over the center of the back knee. Your pelvis is nice and neutral, so you can use your hands here to help set the pelvis. Getting yourself, your ribs right up over the pelvis, so even using your hands to set that. Getting the head to pull right up over the shoulders. And then from here, let's take right hand, maybe just to the front of that left hip to help remind it of its job. So I want to keep this whole side really anchored as I lift the left arm. Maybe even side bending over to the right a little. Really getting a sense of being pulled in and up. That's where I can start to feel a nice plugged in stretch through the whole left side of the body there. Coming all the way up as we feel ready. Coming all the way forward over the front leg. Tuck the back toes, look forward, bring the back foot under us. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands down at the chest. From here, let's go to a chair pose with a little bounce. Get the legs used to working for us. And setting the low back in neutral, trying to preserve that and direct the activation into the legs. As we feel ready from here, pressing down, coming all the way up to stand, tipping all the way forward over the legs, stepping the right foot back, knee down, maybe top of foot down, coming up to your low lunge. Take it some time to get right over the middle of that right knee, thighs rolled forward. So now I feel like I'm kneeling, like I'm up. Getting all of that. Ribs up over the pelvis, head up over the ribs, and then taking maybe now the left hand to the right frontal hip just to kind of feel around there. The right arm travels up. Nice easy breathing. Here we go, not changing anything on that right side, like from the hip, and just lifting up and over the left side of the pelvis. So lifting up out of that right hip, not sagging into it. That's when you're gonna feel that nice whole integrated stretch. As we come up, go ahead, step forward and bring your back foot in. Inhale, let's go ahead, reach wide and high all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands down, we'll go ahead and step back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, let's go ahead, shift her forward towards high plank, top of a push-up. And then any way you like, we'll come all the way down. Once we come all the way down from here, let's go ahead, take the elbows underneath the shoulders, starting to feel our spine as a connected unit from the tail all the way out through the skull. So really kind of just moving around here in any way, get some freedom for your armpits. Okay, let's slink. On the exhale, you slink from the chin, chin draws in, then collarbones in, then sternum in, ribs in, belly in, pelvis in, and up, so the back line is nice and full, and then slowly lowering down, stretching forward, and curling in. And do this segmentally, right? So you're just trying to move piece by piece. This last time, holding in, toes tuck, option to lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees down, it's okay. Go ahead, come back up to the hands. Here we are, tabletop position. Okay, can we be in tabletop position? Can we go ahead, lift up off the knees, downward facing dog. Okay, this time you can decide you want to step or hop the feet forward, that's your choice. We'll go ahead and move it all the way up to the top of the mat. From here on the inhale breath, let's go ahead, ground down through the feet, slowly roll the spine all the way up. Reaching wide and high with the arms, hands down. Let's go ahead, step the left foot back to lunge. We want to get ourselves nice and upright over the back leg. So not forward like this, because I want us to feel nice and secure down here, nice and lifted, where we're practicing all those same things, ribs up, head up, and then keeping that, seeing if I can challenge the balance of my lunge by just taking the chin down to the chest and just taking the chin from armpit to armpit. Trying not to move anything else. And so the chin's basically just tracing the collarbones, really tracing the collarbones. As we feel ready from here, arms can, chin through center, arms can travel up without disturbing the pelvis or the ribs or the head. Then we'll turn open to the side for horse. So heels in, toes out, start with your neutral pelvis, an upright pelvis. If your pelvis is folding forward, turn your toes more in so you can get it up. Okay, so then now you can feel a sense of activation up through your feet into your hips. We'll just pulse here, just get the body used to this a little bit. Then as you feel ready, we can go ahead, lift on the back heel, face the other direction for our high lunge. We pull ourselves into the back leg a little bit. So we get neutral, neutral, neutral. And then from here, we see, can I tuck the chin and trace the collarbones? Still regular in the breathing and face. As we feel ready from here, that high lunge position, maybe you can take the arms toward the overhead plane. Could I stabilize my spine in these nice curves as I hinge forward over the left leg, and then taking the hands down, go ahead, take that right knee down and turn open on the right leg. So let's go ahead, stand all the way up here, press the pelvis forward. And so now zip up through the legs into the hips, maybe raise the arms. So you can see how it's kind of like a warrior two, right? So getting ourselves nice and lifted through that sideways, we see kind of go up and over and to the other side. So how could I get myself to be nice and strong from the belly button down? And it's hard to be strong because the upper body is changing the load on the lower body as it moves. As we feel ready from here, let's go ahead, turn towards that front leg, hands down. We'll take the left leg up and back to one-legged downward facing dog, where we can bend into the knee and move around in the hip. Remember, the hip is the ball and socket joint of the pelvis. So that's where you want the movement to go from. Your pelvis doesn't need to move. And in fact, when we're doing this as honestly as we can, we're trying to keep the pelvis out of the movement entirely. So just getting those hips nice and active. As we feel ready, left foot down to the ground. We're facing the back of the mat, it's fine. We'll shift forward towards our plank, our top of a push-up. Here we are. Any way you like to come all the way down to the floor is fine with me. We'll meet down on the floor. Tops of the feet down, this time fingers wide on the outside of the shoulders, elbows up. Find that position for the low back that feels good, but then press through the hands, peel the chest off the ground any amount. We'll just go on our own. So the whole front of the body is peeling up, and that starts at the base of the spine. Where's the base of your spine? And just kind of try to feel. At first the brain's like, I don't know. But the more you do it, the more the brain starts to understand. And it's a segmented movement as well. So like it's starting at the base of the spine and it's rippling up the front. As you feel ready, drawing the hands underneath the shoulders, let's go ahead, press up to the knees and back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, facing the back of the mat, you decide, are you stepping, are you hopping, whatever you want to do to come all the way forward. From here, bend into the knees, slow motion, let's roll ourselves all the way up, taking the arms all the way out and up to the sky, hands down. As we feel ready, step the right foot back to lunge. So you're back in your high lunge on the left side. Pelvis in, getting ourselves nice and lifted, seeing if we can find that. Here we go, let's take the arms forward, but we're nice and strong, we're not leaning back. Okay, so we're nice and lifted here. We'll see, can I peel the left arm, turn from the rib cage open to the left, and then come back. So really trying to see, moving on both sides of the body evenly. It's easy when you have a mirror. Then coming around through center to horse. So here we are in horse pose, my friends. We can see, can I take the arms nice and wide while keeping the pelvis in and the rib cage in here. So feeling the collarbones is like warrior two arms. And now seeing, can I stay this open in the chest, this plugged in with the shoulder blades on the back, so everything's cinched up through the whole upper side waist. And now I see if I can just bring my arms in front. So collarbones still nice and wide, shoulders down. I just see, can I cross with keeping my collarbones wide up here and open and bringing them forward again and cross, collarbones open, and just seeing if I can do that a couple of times. So just choose the range of motion that works. So essentially I'm trying to move again the shoulders without moving the spine, right? And at this time, maybe I take it across the body, maybe I lift up, maybe I curl myself in, nice rolling through the spine as I come all the way down over the legs, and then rolling back up. Let's go ahead, unwind, turn to face the front, here we go. High lunge, could I get my pelvis more upright? It's gonna wanna do this, right? This whole thing's gonna wanna do this. I'm saying it's not as useful to us as if we get upright. Because once you get upright, now you can do things with your torso. Because what if we wanted to do this with the torso, right? And we wanted to turn from the ribs. And keeping the side waist evenly long. And then from here, taking the hands back, shifting forward, trying to maintain nice length in the spine. back knee can go down. And then from here, turning open on that left leg, so the right leg's up, and then pushing the pelvis up over the left knee. Can you feel? And so just kind of getting yourself zipped up into the pelvis, this whole side stacked. And then seeing from here, taking the arms, and just kind of flowing a little bit to the left and the right. And you'll see that like having really strong legs into the hips will limit the range of motion of your spine, but in a very powerful, strong way where you feel like you're in control, you feel confident, like you're not in the zone of overstretching. As we feel ready from here, we go ahead, turn to face forward over that front leg, hands down, tuck the back toes, lifting the right leg up and back to one-legged dog. And in that one-legged dog, bending into the knee and moving around through the hip. Both directions, make sure you grab both. And then from downward facing dog, your choice. If you want to step, hop, walk forward, it's all good. From here, bending into the knees, slow motion rolling all the way up, arms following, hands down, coming down to a chair pose again, another little pulsing session. Trying to understand our spine's natural floor curves when it's diagonal like this. As we feel ready, tipping all the way forward over the legs. Let's go ahead, step the left foot back, knee down. So we're still in this half lunge position. Let's go ahead, take the left hand down, turn open on the left shoulder blade, lean back into the left shoulder blade. And before the right arm goes anywhere, just feel the side waist grow evenly out to the armpit. Then choose right arm on the leg, right arm up, whatever feels good to you. And getting a sense like, wow, my right glute's on, my legs are working to zip into the pelvis and hold it deliberately. If I want, tuck the back toes under, lift off the back knee. And so just finding that twisted variation up here. I always like to look down at the floor, but you choose where you look. And as you feel ready, right hand comes down to the floor. The back knee's already lifted. So I see, can I round myself all the way up? Here we are. Let's go ahead, turn ourselves open. We're back in our horse pose, heels in, toes out. I'm zipped in. I'm zipped in, I'm zipped up. So I find all of that, nice stable spine. I see if I can do the arms again. So again, it's trying to move the arms without the ribs, without the spine, keeping the chest nice and open. Which way did I hug before? I don't remember, but see if you can get the other hug. Keep yourself this nice and big. It's like pulling in from the lowest part of the spine first, sitting back into the glutes. And following that nice roll all the way up. Here we go, let's go ahead. Turn our lunge to face the back, taking the back knee down to the ground. We can hinge forward. So if the floor is also far away, put your hand on like a brick or something like that. That's also great. But seeing here, if I can get, I'm not forward like this in the lunge. I'm back here. I'm still more over my back leg so that my legs are powerful and they can zip into the pelvis. And then from here, I can take the right hand down. I can turn open on the right shoulder blade. So trying to feel the side waist growing out of the pelvis evenly. Letting the left arm follow. Maybe from here, lifting the back leg. Pelvis is still nice and lifted. As we feel ready from here, taking the hand down, let's go ahead, walk ourselves to the center here so that we're in side lunge left and right. So we'll just kind of cruise over one side to the next, getting those inner thighs nice and open. From here, let's go ahead, turn to face the front, move the back foot forward underneath the body, forward fold. Grounding through the feet, bend the knees. Let's slow motion roll ourselves all the way up. And we're probably nice and warm and strong enough to get into some of these more fun, juicy mobility sequences now. So what if we met with the hands interlocked up here? But of course, we're still trying to start from neutral pelvis, neutral ribs, and neutral head. Now to explore spinal flexion, starting with the elbows maybe going in or just letting the elbows be relaxed, chin drawing in. Keep the rest of your spine lifted, and the vertebra from the top down will sort of wake up their neighbors. So just let it go nice and slowly so that the brain has time to process the request, because each vertebra continues to behave as if it's moving into the cinnamon roll. Each vertebra, I'll repeat that because I actually really like that. Each vertebra continues to behave like it's rolling into the cinnamon roll. Just seeing how that opens things up for you, grounding down through the feet, reversing ourselves nice and slowly all the way up. So it's the same thing. Don't let the upper vertebra get excited. Keep them in the cinnamon roll until it's their turn. And see if your spine can find its natural four curves, but then a little extension as well. So a little chest up, head back, action. And then just releasing here, seeing how you feel. This could be a really good thing to do 2, 3, 4 times, so you can always pause and turn it back on because it can feel really juicy, but I'd like to give us the opportunity to do a few more things like this. So with arms behind the head, get the legs zipped up into the hips. They're gonna anchor and hold the bottom part of our spine nice and still as we lift up, and then we tick-tock. And so again, do less range of motion more honestly for better results. So I don't want to feel like my pelvis or my legs swish swashing, if that makes sense, left to right. I want to feel the inseam and the outseam of the leg draw up into the pelvis evenly on both sides. Now, holding it over to one side, feeling that nice sense of elongation. I see, can I release the bottom shoulder, but like really release it, like let it go, let it drop. Feeling the whole front of the body zipped into the back body. Can I get a little bit more? So now it's just gravity. I'm gonna keep my legs straight, but you could also bend your knees, do more of a chair pose here and see, play around with reaching down. But this is feeling pretty good for me today. Just feeling that nice elongation here. You might just stretch that long side arm up to the sky. Maybe even moving around in the chin, the neck. As we feel ready from here, pressing down to come all the way on up. Ooh, you can kind of dance epidemic tonight between sides. I don't even know what song that's from. Ollie just always sings it. So let's go ahead and take the hands behind the head. Here we go. We're gonna go right to the other side, but first, before we do that, you find your natural curvature, and then it's just like a little tick-tock action above the pelvis. Do less more honestly. We all know that, of course. To the right. Just feeling that nice sense of elongation. Maybe you let go of the head. Your bottom shoulder gets loose and heavy, but it doesn't like turn your torso open or close. You're still truly just lifting and side bending, not back bending, not forward bending. We just did those. And then maybe the left arm. And so the top of the head is really heavy too. Coming all the way on up in your own time. See how you feel there, okay? What if we combined what we just did with the first one? So if we take the hands behind the head here, we lift up. This time, it's like, let's take the chin down and like turn it over towards the left. Turn the chest over towards the left. So we're like twisting over the left hip bone. And from here, what if I tucked the chin and I did my cinnamon roll? But just from this like kind of twisty up position. And so for the most part, try to keep your legs facing forward, your pelvis bones facing forward, and that'll make sure that it gets, and just go to the area where like if it's new, then stay there and breathe nice and easy and get the brain just like, oh, okay, that's okay to feel. Get the brain feeling like that's okay to feel. And rooting down, coming all the way up. So these are big sensations, like, wow, I can feel so many things happening. Let's do the other side. So find first lifting up. Now, turning the chin towards the right armpit, turning the chest towards the right hip bone, but the legs working to hold the hips forward. And then chin, cinnamon rolling. And keep that cinnamon roll action happening. I keep forgetting. Keeping the legs facing forward, the pelvis bones facing forward. As we feel ready, reverse. And again, don't let the upper vertebrae get too excited. They get so excited. Coming all the way up. Whoo! Oh my gosh, this feels so good. Okay, so coming to back up here, let's do some segmented twisting now. We have a little bit more space. You get your pelvis neutral, you get your ribs neutral, you get your head neutral. You keep all of that. You're just a rotating totem pole, turning the chin to the left and to the right. So not, the head's still up over the ribs, and as you do this, you're trying to keep your chest open, shoulders not sagging off your body, but they're, they should be pretty turned on here from all of the planks and stuff. Okay, so turning to the left, now just segment and add your middle spine where your ribs are into the twist. Really push down through your feet. Try to hold your hip bones forward, kind of like how we were just doing. But now push through your feet and actually turn your hip bones in line with the twist as well. So you twist at every joint that can twist. And then unrolling from the hips first, then the ribs, then the chin, and going to the other side, right? Okay, so you're only moving your chin. Your shoulders are not taxed here. Your shoulders follow the ribs. The shoulders do not create the movement. They follow the movement. And at the same time, when your ribs are just there, use the legs to hold the pelvis forward. Then you get the most. You're like rinsing out the ribs. Then you add the range of motion of the hips. So you add it in pieces so that each part gets to move the most. So then unwind from the hips, then unwind from the ribs, then unwind from the chin. And then we can just work on our own with whatever kind of pacing timing, maybe doing just a couple more for each side. And again, this is really effective when you have mirrors where you can kind of check yourself. I don't have a mirror in front of me right now, but Very, very cool learning tool. And also kind of giving yourself assists in the poses will also help you learn, because touch really helps us learn. So then as you're ready from here, feeling all this good stuff on the inhale breath, reaching the arms wide and high. On the exhale breath, maintain your 4 curves as you come down over the legs, stepping back to tabletop position. I find my neck in line with my spine, my natural 4 curves here. Once again, just returning to a few cat-cows. Trying to feel my spine move as a connected unit. My arms aren't doing a ton of variation. There is variation, of course, happening in my back, my chest, my armpits, but I want my arms to be strong pillars for all of that variation. And then just finding a position, holding the position in the spine, pushing back into the hips any amount, so hips toward heels. Feeling that stretch, lifting back up. Doing that a couple of times. And then when you come back to center, whatever position you didn't just do, find that. And same thing, holding the position. You can see how the spine wants to move, right? So you just do your very best. And it's actually that precision is the skill. Whatever you came to your mat to get today, pain relief, understanding, working towards a handstand, whatever it is, that precision will help us get there. So let's go ahead from here, come all the way down onto our back. And on your back, let's see, just find a place. We'll just come down to rest right away. So find a place where you can rest and relax. If you have like an ottoman you could throw your legs up on, that might be nice. Kind of feel your spine here on the floor and see, is there anything you could do for yourself that would make you more comfortable? A little pillow, a little adjustment. And then this is our time to really sort of set our practice and hit save on it, so to speak. And the way to do that is to get our nervous system down-regulated. Our nervous system down-regulates when we feel very safe. And so we can kind of give our nervous system some safe feeling snacks, so to speak. Maybe if you just imagine like how you might breathe during deep sleep, because you know you feel really safe in deep sleep. If you didn't feel safe, you would be awake. So in deep sleep, the body's just breathing in a really safe feeling way. It's breathing for nourishment, it's breathing for efficiency, it's not taking in more than we need, it's not being controlled by our psychology. You can always choose to just chill out here, let the video stop, and you just have a longer Shavasana. If you're ready to start moving, go at your own pace. really enjoying the process of waking up. So continue that way of breathing. Whatever movements you like to do, at whatever pace you like to do them, is fine. I imagine that for most of us, we'll probably come to a seat before we stand up. So whether you do that now or later, that's up to you. But your seat is another nice moment to practice that down regulation in this sort of in-between space. We do a lot of our daily activities from this seat, so when we perch ourselves up here, it can be like, all right, the personality's turned back on, let's go, let's go. But see if we can just find a little bit of space from that. There's no real task or practice as we open our eyes and re-enter into our day. It's more so just noticing the changes that have already happened. Not trying to push any new changes into the system, knowing that that all happens gradually over time. So thank you so much for joining in today's practice. Next week, I'll be here again on Saturday morning, live at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And our theme will be free range ribs. So kind of sticking on theme, doing a lot of similar movements, but doing them with a little different focus in mind. And hopefully after all these classes, they form like a nice puzzle where you can sort of be like, oh, I understand how my pelvis should be and my ribs and all of that kind of stuff. Before we stop streaming today, I'd like to tell you how to get closer to us online. The best place to do that is to go over to the cornucopia of yoga and movement resources. That is our website, yogainyourlivingroom.com. That's linked in our YouTube channel. And there you can see our blog posts, my whole yoga class library with different search formats, so it might be easier to find some things. You can sign up for our weekly newsletter every Sunday, which is free and gets you a little note from me every week and what I'm thinking about and learning in my practice, in addition to laying out all of the fun things that we're doing online over that week. So really great resource. And of course, if you would like to donate to this work, then I will leave a link to the donation in the description below. It'll just take you right to our website where it'll prompt you to do a one-time donation or a monthly donation on our Patreon. And that can be of any amount of your choosing. So it's very free range in that way, the same way that our ribs will be next week. So thank you all so much for joining. I'll see you here next time.